Hi, my name is Zaneta Smith and welcome to my tiny house. Her name is Maya, named after Maya Angelou, after a book she wrote called All God's Children Have Traveling Shoes, because I really wanted to be able to travel and experience home ownership. Maya is 200 square feet and she's really tall as well. Maybe, I'm not sure how tall she is, but maybe 12, 13 feet tall. I bought a tiny home because I wanted the freedom of not being in debt and tied to a house. I'm really busy in the community. I operate a couple of nonprofits and I own a business, and I really wanted to be able to put my money into my community and my community projects and not necessarily into my house. And I also wanted to be able to travel as many times as I wanted to and not have to worry about money to do it. And buying a tiny house really afforded me that opportunity. So when I say travel, I mean outside of the tiny home. I didn't want to be one of the tiny home owners who traveled with their tiny house. I wanted my house to be the base in LA and affording me the opportunity to travel nationally and internationally. I've been living in this house for 2 years now. The first night was interesting. The first time I bought the house, I lived on a ranch. And so being a city girl, someone born and raised in Los Angeles, it was really interesting to live on a ranch that was completely quiet, that was pitch dark, where you heard all types of animals that you never heard before. I even heard animals scratching my roof. And so the first night was really strange to be in, a house that I owned for the very first time in life, something that I sacrificed for, something that I was very disciplined to save up money for, something that I researched for 4 years, and that I looked for the house for about a year after I decided to finally buy one. So it was nostalgic that first night, because I had accomplished this goal that I had set for myself. So in regards to family and friends, my friends mostly love it and support my decision. A lot of my friends haven't even been to see it. There have only been a couple of friends who have come by to see it. Others say, oh, I'm gonna get there, I'm gonna get there. Family is interesting. Only 3 of my family members have come to see it, and most of my family lives here in LA. So my mom has come to see it, my uncle, and my sister. And my sister just thinks, oh, that's something Zaneta wanted to do, and so she did it, but it's still crazy. My sister could never live in a tiny house. My mom doesn't think it fits my lifestyle, so she also thinks it's not me, but it totally is. That just shows that she doesn't understand me completely. And so, I think my other family members, they saw it and they just say, oh, that's cool, but I don't think they really understand the whole purpose or why I'm doing it, and it's so different, right? And so most of them just get really excited because they say, oh, well, that's what I watch on HGTV. I can't believe you have one of those. And so it's always this vibrant conversation of, wow, well, what is that like, and how small is it, and how tall is it? But only a few people have been to see it. So when I first bought the house, it's always been illegal in Los Angeles City, which was very unfortunate for me because I do most of my work in the community in South LA, so I wanted nothing more than to live in South LA, spend my money in South LA, and give back more to my community and live in my community and give back to the business owners more. But because it was illegal, I had to move it outside of LA City, and I first lived on a ranch, which meant I was either commuting by car or I was hopping on the Metrolink every day, because at that time I did have a full-time job where I went to work from 9 to 5. And so that was a very different experience, because that's not how I imagined this tiny house living to be. I wanted to be in LA, I wanted to be in someone's backyard, but my house wouldn't fit down people's driveways, and then that meant you were living illegally. And so what if someone calls on you, or what if someone reports your tiny house? And so that commute was really hard for me because I don't like to drive long distances. And then also because I do a lot of community work in the evening, it was hard as a woman to be on the train late at night, especially the Metrolink, and living on the ranch, it wasn't a lot of street lights. It was literally pitch dark. And so if I'm driving, if I get off the train, hop in my car, drive to the ranch, the only light I have is my headlights. And that could be kind of scary for a city girl, especially, I mean, I saw deer, you know, more than once. And so that could be very scary. Those are things I hear my friends talk about on the East Coast that I don't ever really get to experience. And so that was interesting. But then I said I didn't want to commute anymore. I really wanted to be closer to the city. And so I moved my house a little bit closer inland, still outside of LA City, and that provided me the opportunity to hop on the train to go to work. I then traded jobs, and so I had a little bit more freedom to work from home and then go into work. And then the work from home thing was a whole different type of transition and life change, because then I really got to see how small my house was when you are working in it and you don't have a separate room or a separate office to go to. And so getting real distracted with, oh, I gotta do this, oh, I gotta do this, oh, I should wash clothes, where if I just had an office to go to, I could just lock myself in the office and not have to see everything else in my house. So that was a life adjustment. But also I got to appreciate my tiny house more by working from home, because I actually got to live in it, versus when I lived on the ranch, I would leave my house at 5 o'clock in the morning, before 5 o'clock in the morning, and I wouldn't come back to my house until about 6 or 7, maybe 8 sometimes, which meant I needed to go to sleep so I could be up to be on that train. So it's been an interesting 2 years. So now I live in a trailer park, which is interesting because I called about over 30 mobile home parks and trailer parks to see if they would take my house, and I got a bunch of different answers. Either we're full, or they didn't answer their phone, they didn't call back, we don't understand what kind of house you're talking about. Because tiny houses are trending, I found some mobile home parks and trailer parks that were purchasing their own tiny houses, and so they didn't want you as the owner of one to bring in your own. You had to live and rent out theirs. So it was a challenge even finding a mobile home or trailer park to live in. I also understood there are different rules in a mobile home and a house on a trailer. So whereas technically this house could not live in a mobile home park, it can live in a trailer park because I'm on a trailer. I was lucky to find a trailer park where everyone owns their homes in a trailer park. So in this trailer park, no one is renting. And so that provided a whole different type of community, and that people were very territorial, people were very loving of their space, people were way accepting of me being in here, and it was just an exciting thing, which was a lot for me because also as a city girl in LA, I never lived in a neighborhood where your neighbors were that friendly. I was usually friendly to the neighbors to the right, neighbors to the left, but for a whole community of people to greet me when my house came in and welcome me to the neighborhood was just a really different experience that I feel like is only experienced in the South. So that was interesting. So I moved into the trailer park, and it's been closer to the city. It's been closer to a job that I then picked up, and that now I'm a professor at Cal State LA, so I can literally just drive to the bus station, take the bus, it drops me off right in front of Cal State LA, which is wonderful. It has been an adventure and experience, and I never thought I would live in a trailer park. I never even thought about it. I always thought about owning a mobile home and renting it out to someone as a way to get income, but I never saw that for myself. And maybe it's just because I didn't know too many people who had done it before, and I didn't know how affordable it was as well. As far as the utilities, what I do is I have a plug, and so I plug, the house is completely electric, even the water heater is an electric water heater. So I plug it up, that gives me my light, that activates the water, and then all of my, I don't have any plumbing, and so all of my water is gray water because I have a compostable toilet. So what that means is there's a bag, you do what you gotta do, and then after a certain number of flushes, it alerts you, and then you empty the bag, and then you put a new bag in. So I don't have to worry about plumbing as far as the toilet. In regards to the sink and the shower, it's just gray water, so it feeds the earth. When I lived on the ranch, the water just went out from the bottom of the house and fed the earth. Here at the mobile home park, we put in a pipe from the hole at the bottom of the house into the dirt. So again, now the water just goes in the pipe and feeds the earth. So I used all kind of non-harmful products when it comes to shampoos, when it comes to soap, so it won't harm the insects. In changing my lifestyle to live in a tiny house, it has worked very well for me. I think before I lived in a tiny house, I had a bunch of clothes I never wore. And so in order to even get all of my clothes in the tiny house, I had to give away bags and bags of clothes to Goodwill. And so it really helped me kind of fine tune what I really needed. And so I only have clothes that I really need. And I'm not a big shopper, but I used to go shopping more than I have in the last 2 years. But now I don't even have to go shopping because I have everything I need. And even if I do go shopping for clothes, it's like, well, if I can't wear it 2 times in a month, I'm not going to buy it because my closet's not that big to fit it in there. So it's really shifted my mindset and gave me this perspective of things that I need versus things that I want. And most times things that I want, I don't really need. So it has definitely shifted my mindset. It has afforded me the opportunity to be able to travel more. And so even when I go to like birthday parties or galas and you get those gift bags or you get those swag bags, where before you would just throw them on your couch or you would just put stuff in a drawer, I can't do that. I don't have room for it. So most of the times I don't even take the swag bag, or I just give the stuff away because there's no room for it in my house. So next for me, I'm selling the tiny house, and I'm so sad about that because it has brought me so much more than what I thought it would bring me. But I think next is really buying something in LA that could be a sort of income property, and then working toward buying internationally because I would love to be bicontinental and work in the continent of Africa and work in the United States as well. Overall, I believe it would really set some young people free with buying and owning and living in a tiny home because it allowed me to have the disposable income to start my business. It allowed me to have the disposable income to travel nationally. I love going to New York. I love going to DC. It allowed me to be able to go travel internationally. When I bought the house 2 years ago, 1 month later, I went to Europe and I traveled all around Europe. And so I think it would afford people the opportunity to have this disposable income. Also, I think people my age who like to travel, who want to work remotely, and who want to travel in their house, this would give them the opportunity to do that too. All you have to do is load this baby up to the back of a truck because it sits on a trailer, and you just pull the truck and pull the house along. So someone who really is looking for that true freedom in their life and wants to be a freelancer and has the opportunity to work remotely, well, all you have to do is have internet, and you could travel all across the United States if you wanted to and live in your house. And so I think it would really shift the mindset between appreciating living and appreciating experiences more than materialistic things, especially living in LA where the rental costs are rising.